Rachel, I'm gonna make this our lifeline in a way because it will come into I would say societal fun things we want to talk about. So the whole basically Luka Doncic got traded due to narrative, like due to narrative reasons.
JT Miller also got traded because of narrative.
These and even Mikko Rantanen technically with the contract and everything narrative.
#narrative.
So I want to go through 5 very good players in the NHL.
Ooh, okay.
And I'm not talking like and you might think it's impossible for these guys to get traded, whatever. I want us to concoct a narrative that could potentially see them get traded.
Oh my god, this is gonna be so fun.
We will start with the Nate Dogg. We'll start with the leading scorer in the NHL. 80 like 1.45 points per game, 80 points in 55 games. Crazy. This is Nathan MacKinnon. What type of narrative, what sort of sequence of events could possibly happen to convince the Colorado Avalanche to trade Nathan MacKinnon?
This one's easy.
What?
The guy is a lunatic when it comes to control. Mm-hmm. So it's gonna be something like his teammates, him and Cale Makar butted heads because Nate wouldn't let Cale eat regular pasta. He was forcing him to eat chickpea pasta or whatever. Something crazy like that. It's gonna be discipline and food related.
My theory is that Nathan MacKinnon. My theory would be that the Colorado Avalanche sign a sponsorship deal with Krispy Kreme.
Nathan MacKinnon's just I'm out.
And then the Krispy Kremes start showing up in the locker room before morning skates and stuff. And and he walks in on players, specifically Cale Makar, his brother in arms, now that Mikko Rantanen is gone, eating one.
What if it was a condition of the Krispy Kreme or the McDonald's sponsorship
that he had to eat it?
Nathan MacKinnon has to eat it. Immediately out. He's I'm requesting a trade.
Austin Matthews, he was asked about his burger. He was I had one. He's but it's the middle of the season. I'm keeping it tight. I'm not I had it.
Matthews said that?
Yeah. He's I tried it once, just to be I took a bite of it or whatever. And then I was just it tastes good, but it's the middle of the season. I can't be eating this stuff,
Yeah.
Great.
Crosby is pretty nuts when it comes to his regimen. The guy eats specific brands of peanut butter on game days. But Jack Eichel is also
Jack Eichel has the American Psycho morning routine, but the whole day. He takes
certain type of apple.
He takes 3 showers on game days.
In fairness, I take 2 showers most days.
I do too. More in the morning before work and then that night after my run. But he takes I think it might even be 4 showers actually, because he's wake up, shower, work out, do all this, shower,
morning skate, shower.
It's crazy. It's nuts. All right. So
that's the Nathan MacKinnon one for sure.
Next one is Leon Draisaitl. Now keep in mind, Leon Draisaitl just signed. His deal hasn't even kicked in yet. So has it?
No, next
year.
Yeah,
exactly. It kicks in next year. What possible narrative could occur? A series of events could unfold that would convince the Edmonton Oilers at this juncture to trade Leon Draisaitl.
It's so ridiculous, but it's he got into a fist fight with somebody in Oilers media.
Yes, him and Jim. He finally. Here's what I'm gonna say.
David Staples.
Well, David Staples, thankfully, doesn't cover hockey anymore.
No, yeah, he's just writing articles about how Canada should become part of the United States.
What a freaking loser. Here's my theory. The reason they trade him is Jim Matheson asked him why he's pissy again. And so he punches Jim Matheson in the chest. And a Damar Hamlin series of events occurs where he punches him right as the electric pulse of his heart stops. So it stops Jim Matheson's heart, and he is then resuscitated. Thankfully, resuscitated.
Oh yeah, because you don't want anything bad to happen.
With no adverse side effects. However, Jim Matheson, I believe, is in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So he just punched out a Hall of Fame reporter, and this all was captured. But by the way, this was all captured on live television. This was an Amazon live. No, not even. Yeah, this was an Amazon live game. The most eyeballs you can get on this game. No, ESPN.
Yeah.
Nationally televised game. I would say that or I would say, yeah, it would be that, because I can't think of any plausible
because
thing
like
that
him
could
and
happen.
McDavid, and like they're basically not a thruple, but like
They're quadruple. Like
they're
they're
a
all
quadruple.
Yeah, like they all move together. The only thing I can think of is that he has a falling out. Like there is.
If there's a falling out between the wives.
Oh yeah.
If there's a falling out between the wives, I could see issues.
Okay.
I don't think Connor and Leon are ever gonna fall out. Leon first of all, Leon bought property in the Greater Toronto area because he trains and like basically lives with McDavid in the summer.
Yeah.
So like they have their own property here. I believe Celeste, his wife to be, is from Ontario. And like I honestly I don't see Leon and Connor falling out because they've been through so much crap in Edmonton together that I think they're just like that is like diamond strength like relationship. But I mean,
so him punching Jim Matheson so hard it stops his heart on live television.
that or the wives have a falling out.
Okay. Next one, obviously, Austin
Could
Matthews.
you imagine?
What?
By the way, if we had to trade this player because their wives had a falling out.
I mean, was that not
Eric Carlson and Mike
was
Hoffman?
that not Mike Hoffman? Like, and by the way, a falling out is a pretty broad way of glossing over.
Yeah, that was not a falling out. That was full ass bullying.
Someone for having a stillbirth. Like,
that's not
crazy.
what we're talking about.
No, I know.
Because that you can't. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Austin Matthews. He just signed his deal. You know, he just got the captaincy.
He gets frustrated with Mitch Marner, and there's like a clashing of heads, and then Nylander says, "Quick, stop crying, bro." And yeah, and then he's like, "I'm out. I don't want to deal with this anymore." I could see that being it, or he goes, "Pick, you ban Steve Simmons or I leave."
So I have two. One is Austin Matthews during the offseason contracts some sort of airborne. He goes on a tropical vacation and catches some sort of airborne illness. Not even airborne. He catches some sort of illness. You know, the things that you have to get vaccinated for before you go on vacations.
Yeah.
But it's something, but he gets like bird flu or something.
Oh no.
However, thankfully survives and everything. However, Steve Simmons gets a hold of it and once again publishes without his consent that Austin
Matthews takes a hockey stick to Steve Simmons' head.
Exactly. My other one is that Austin Matthews and Justin Bieber have a Drake-Kendrick Lamar falling out.
Ooh!
Justin Bieber then writes a diss, I guess would be song about Justin Bieber or about Austin Matthews in their falling out. And and just out of pure spite, because he knows how much Justin Bieber loves the Toronto Maple Leafs, he goes, "You know what? You're gonna diss me. I'm going to leave your hockey team and go away, go to like LA or something." I would say that is the only scenario.
Like the other ones are like the Nathan McKinnon one is legit realistic. Draisaitl's, honestly, I could see him losing his mind on Jim Matheson.
Yep.
The thing with Matthews is I could just straight up see him leaving because he's just like, I can't win here.
Yeah. Although,
like, I actually think that that's the thing where he's like, I don't know if I can win here because of all of the crap that happens in that locker room. Like, there was a player that told your colleague, like, sometimes it's really tough to deal with that dressing room. Yeah. I could see Matthews going, check, please. Even though he's part of it.
Yes. I would say he's not blameless in all this.
If it were to come to a head, I think it would be less about money and more about him actually wanting to win and whether or not he believes he can actually do that. I think that that's probably the most likely scenario is he doesn't believe that they can win if they keep certain players or if they don't keep certain players kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I said 5. For time reasons, we're going to do 4. So the last one, of course, Sidney Crosby.
Okay.
What series of events could occur that would lead to Sidney Crosby getting traded?
If they trade Malkin. Done. That one was quick. We
Yes.
can do the fifth.
Okay, we'll do the fifth. If they
If
trade
Malkin, he's like, and they're not good. Thanks for coming.
I have another one.
And also, there was a poll in The Athletic that came out today that was like, where do you not want to play? And there was like this paragraph of like a player being like, I hate Philadelphia. I would never want to play there. I'd rather play.
Is that Sidney Crosby? Probably.
It has to be Crosby.
Yeah. So I have another one, and I'm not sure if any of you have seen this, but Sidney Crosby wears the same jock
since
he was like a child, like
16.
Yeah, that thing is like
sewn together multiple times.
If anyone but him, because his body has clearly built up a natural immunity to the bacteria that's on it, but if anyone but him touched that, it would be like touching one of the graphite rods from the Chernobyl reactor. Like it would kill you almost instantly. Another thing I could see him getting asked for a trade is if the Pittsburgh Penguins somehow instituted a policy that he had to change his jock, or he would not be allowed to play. Or like his equipment. No, like I'm just saying just his jock. Like he had to buy a new jock because
he'd be like,
this one is too dangerous or something to be kept in the locker room because there's new equipment standards in just the Pittsburgh Penguins and we need everyone to be more protected down there. I think he would then be like, no, I'm gone.
I'm out.
Yeah.
But yeah, if they trade Malkin, I'm pretty sure he's going to be like, all right, thank you.
And the final one is Matthew Tkachuk.
Man, I have some thoughts about Matthew Tkachuk right now, and none of them are good.
I know.
Well, if Matthew Tkachuk if he lost the Stanley Cup in the ocean because he was too drunk, and Florida had to be like, all right, well, we can't, like, now we're cursed because we've dropped the Stanley Cup into the ocean, and we might never win again if we don't trade you. I could see that, or I could see a scenario where him and Brady are like, we want to play together.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I could easily. By the way, how annoying would that be?
Be so annoying.
Could you imagine playing Matthew and Brady on the same line? Oh my God.
I would say because Matthew Tkachuk is clearly such a patriot that I could see him suiting up for a very important game. A Canadian boos the national anthem. He pulls a Ron Artest, goes into the crowd, beats a man with his shoe.
Mike Milbury.
Unfortunately, however, his shoes have knives on them because they're skates. He kills a man. He is legally not allowed to work in the state of Florida because he is on trial for murder. He must
that is such a ridiculous theory.
So he must be traded.
Dude. Okay.
That is the only scenario, other than him wanting to team up with his brother, that I can see Matthew Tkachuk getting traded.
Imagine, or he like drops the cup off of like the elbow room balcony
and breaks it. But then he gets the death penalty. So
literally the hockey equivalent
of
the death penalty.
He gets traded to the afterlife because he has died.
You are now a member of the Arizona Coyotes, and by the Coyotes, I mean you don't play hockey anymore.
You're getting sent to Arizona. That's a great way to put it. A lot of people go to Arizona to die too. Retirees. So
and Florida.
Perfect. He's right where he needs to be.
What is it? The gateway to heaven?
It's Heaven's Highway or something that they call it.
Also, can we on that note, why I never understood this.
Mm-hmm.
Why do teams who win championships go to the White House or the House of Commons, when the Raptors won and they went to see Trudeau? It's like, why?
You know what?
Sasha Barkov is the captain.
He doesn't give a shit, man.
Did you see him holding the jersey? He was like,
yeah, he doesn't care. No
one cares. I don't understand. You see people, and this is something I'm actually I said this even back when Obama was the president. If you want to say stick to sports,
you can't do
then
this.
The politicians also don't get to do that.
So do you know why they do this? It's because back before 2016.
Yeah.
The office of the President of the United States was held such reverence. It was an honor. It was an honor to be there.
Yeah.
And so it was seen as a reward for the team that they got to go and meet the President of the United States, take a photo op with him, go there, present him with the jersey, present him with a gift. Obviously, Trump and to a lesser extent, whatever's happening in Canada now has denigrated the office of the president / prime minister. So like,
I just don't see a need for it.
Whereas
generally speaking,
Kanye West is like sitting next to Trump in you know, like it just doesn't like it stripped the reverence out of it. But
even growing up, I was like, I don't understand why. In the same way that I do not and will never, and maybe this is because of my European background, I do not understand why when we're playing club games, why we're playing the national anthem. Like, that to me makes no sense. At the Four Nations, when Canada plays the US, you play the anthems.
Yeah, but during like...
At the World Cup, when the two teams are playing, you play the two anthems.
But if you're playing a league game, no.
You're playing in a league. Why does the anthem need to be played?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, military and veterans and this and that. Once again, politics and sports, church and state. If you can't, to me, you can't pick and choose as a society, and we're puck social. Like, we talk about society and sports.
Live in a society.
You don't get to choose.
Yeah.
When you stick to sports and when you don't. And theoretically speaking, if you're going to allow the shows of patriotism and all of that, then you also should be allowing the show of pride and all of the other specialty jerseys. If we're allowed to wear military jerseys, we're also allowed to wear pride
Absolutely.
jerseys, right? If we're going to play...
And indigenous pride and all that, like, you know, Chinese New Year, like all that kind of stuff.
All of that stuff.
Yeah.
First of all, I think those jerseys are cool and revenue generating. Why would you not want to sell them?
Yeah.
But that's besides the point. I think to me, like, I look at it and I go, I never understood, like, the whole wanting to go to the prime minister's office or the president, to Washington. Maybe because, like, once again, like, in Europe, no one cares. They hold a celebration, like a parade, and, like, that's that. Like, it doesn't need to have all of this, like, pomp and circumstance, and especially now where things are, like, in deep turmoil. Like, I don't see why we need to do this. And also, like, there are more than just Canadians and Americans. It's one thing, like, let's say the U.S. wins Olympic gold.
Yeah.
By all means, go to the White House.
Sure.
Because that is a patriotic thing.
And also, like, you're getting, like, the government is funding U.S. hockey or whatever. Like, so, like,
but you're also, like, that's a patriotic thing. So,
it
like,
is.
when the Germans won the World Cup in 2014, they all went to the Bundestag.
Yeah.
And they were greeted by the president, the chancellor, all of that.
And it's also because, like, the German...
playing for the German national team.
Yeah, and also, like, because the German government funds the German soccer development program, or whatever it's called. Like, same with, like, the government of Canada funds Hockey Canada. So if they win, it's like, all right, let's go.
You can go and see them. The last time I checked, the United States government does not fund the Florida Panthers or the NHL for them.
They only fund the Kansas City Chiefs. That's the only thing they fund.
No, but kind of what I'm saying is like, if it's a patriotic thing where it's like, you win the Olympics.
Oh, no, it makes sense.
You know what? Then you can go to the White House. Like, I get that. But, like, we're talking about a team that's captained by a Finn that is more than 50% Canadian.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Half the people that were standing in that little row thing are not even American. Like, I just looked at that and I was like, once again, this is how I feel about it. And, like, I never understood why it needed to happen in the first place. So to me, national anthems should be reserved for national games, and visiting places of government should be reserved for national championships.